Good evening, everyone. My name is Kalyani, working as zoology faculty in Telangana Tribal Welfare Degree Women's Shadnagar College. Now I am going to explain about vaccines topic. It is highly essential and beneficial to be aware of vaccines topic in this pandemic situation. So contents of the topic: introduction, history and types of vaccines, and conclusion. Before going to detailed explanation and vaccines topic, we have to understand the basics of the vaccines, that is what is vaccine and history of vaccines. Let us look into first slide. What is vaccine? A vaccine is a biological preparation that improves immunity to a particular disease, and it contains certain agents. So these agents resembles a disease causing microorganism, and it is often made from weakened or killed forms of microbe. The vaccine, it contains some components related to microorganisms like bacteria and viruses, and the vaccine is made from weakened or killed forms of microbe. A vaccine is antigenic in nature but not pathogenic. What is immunization? Immunization is the process of giving vaccine to a person to protect against to a disease. At present, we are getting COVID vaccine to protect ourselves from COVID-19 virus, right? So that is immunization. The immunization is active immunization and passive immunization. Active immunization. Microbes are microbial antigens. Microbes are microbial agents like capsular proteins, toxins, and etc. in inactivated form are administered to produce humoral or cellular immune response. So here microbes are microbial antigens, microbial agents like capsular proteins, toxins, and etc. in inactivated form. In inactivated form introduced into our body in the form of vaccines, and it produces humoral and cellular immune response in our body, and it gives long or permanent protection, and the memory is generated in our body. The memory cells are formed in our body. Example: influenza, measles, malaria vaccines. Coming to positive immunization, the preformed antibodies are introduced into host body. The preformed antibodies are introduced into our body to protect against pathogens. Here no memory is generated. Example: snake venom, tetanus, hepatitis B, and etc. Coming to next slide, etymology and history. The British physician Edward Jenner in 1796 used the cowpox virus, in Latin variola vaccinea, to confer protects against smallpox. In late 18th century, the people are affected by smallpox, and it became a big pandemic. The eradication of smallpox by Edward Jenner, and he is well known around the world for his innovative contribution to immunization. The Edward Jenner is known as father of immunology. The second generation of vaccines was introduced in the 1880s by Louis Pasteur, who developed vaccines for cholera and anthrax. Then coming to types of vaccines. Conventional vaccines and new generation vaccines. Conventional vaccines are two types: attenuated or live vaccines, killed or inactivated vaccines. New generation vaccines are three types: recombinant vaccines, DNA vaccines, and peptide based vaccines. Let us look into conventional vaccines in detail. The conventional vaccines are made up of complete virus and bacteria. These are also known as first generation vaccines. The conventional vaccines made up of complete virus and bacteria, and the conventional vaccines also known as traditional vaccines. Coming to types of conventional vaccines, there are two types. The first one is attenuated vaccines. These are live attenuated pathogens which all the immunogenic features are attenuated at laboratory conditions. Attenuation. What is the meaning of attenuation? Attenuation is the process of reducing the virulence of pathogen at laboratory conditions. The pathogen is attenuated and finally used as vaccine. So that is attenuated vaccine. Example, vaccines for measles, rubella, influenza, yellow fever, hepatitis A. Inactivated vaccines. These are inactivated or killed pathogens. Example, vaccines for cholera, pertussis, anthrax and plague. There are some problems with conventional vaccines. The first problem is there is a chance of reversion of the virulence of live vaccine and failure of inactivation. And some conventional vaccines can produce secondary effects. The secondary effects are inflammation or edema at inoculation, vaccine inoculation point, and some other problems like fever, hypersensitivity and etc. And conventional vaccine need to be kept refrigerated during their storage and shipment. It has not been possible using conventional techniques to develop vaccines against prosine diseases. Example, vaccines against African swine fever virus. Next slide. New generation vaccines. The new generation vaccines contain the proteins of the pathogen that are able to induce an immune response. So coming to new generation vaccines, instead of using whole microbes as vaccines, here the proteins of the pathogens are used as vaccines, and it can able to induce an immune response in our body. And coming to advantage of new generation vaccines, the discrimination between sick and vaccinated animals. This is the one of the most important advantage of new generation vaccines compared to conventional vaccines. The types of conventional vaccines, there are three types as we discussed in earlier slide. The first type is recombinant vaccines. Recombinant vaccines. The vaccines are produced using recombinant DNA technology or genetic engineering. Recombinant vaccines are those in which genes for desired antigens of a microbe are inserted into a vector. Usually, the vectors are carriers in recombinant vaccines, in recombinant technology or DNA technology. The vectors play a great role in recombinant DNA technology. The Food and Drug Administration licensed MEX Recombivax HB vaccine was the first human vaccine produced by recombinant method in 1981. The first Recombivax hepatitis B vaccine was the first human vaccine, and it is produced by recombinant DNA technology method in 1981. Coming to types of recombinant vaccines. The first one is subunit vaccines and the second one is live attenuated recombinant vaccines. The first type is subunit vaccines. These are the components of the pathogenic organisms. So the components of the microbes like proteins, peptides, DNA. These are used in vaccine preparation. So these are components of the subunit vaccines are components of microbes. The components are proteins, peptides, DNA. Example, hepatitis B and BCG vaccine. And advantages of subunit vaccines. This vaccine include their purity in preparation, and the vaccine appear to give long-term immunity, long-term protection. And disadvantage, high cost and possible alteration in native conformation. Coming to second type, that is attenuated recombinant vaccines. Genetically engineer the microbes, usually bacteria or viruses, and use them as live vaccines. The genetic manipulations for the production of these vaccines are two types. There are two genetic manipulation in preparation of attenuated recombinant vaccines. The first one is deletion or modification of virulence genes of pathogenic organism. The pathogenic organism virulence genes are deleted or modified during the preparation of attenuated recombinant vaccines. Then the pathogen is less harmful to us. The pathogenic virulence genes, so deleted or modified. Coming to second point, genetically manipulated non-pathogenic organisms to carry and express antigen determinants from pathogenic organisms. Example, cholera, salmonella species and leishmania species. Here the diagram shows the development of new strain of Vibrio cholerae as a attenuated recombinant vaccines. In this development, in this recombinant DNA development, here the vector is used. The vector is plasmid. Here the plasmid is used as vector. So here the first point, the deletion or modification of virulence genes of pathogenic organism. So here the virulence genes of pathogenic organism are deleted. So here the deleted A1 peptide DNA sequence. Then it becomes as less harmful. Then it is used as vaccine. Coming to third type, vector recombinant vaccines. These are genetically modified viral vectors. The recombinant vaccines. Vector recombinant vaccines are modified viral vectors that can be used as vaccines against certain pathogens. The desired gene coding for target antigens of virulent pathogen is cloned into a vector. Then the vector is administered into person. So here the desired gene. So the gene coding for antigens, whatever genes coding for antigens, those genes are cloned into a vector. Then the vector is introduced into a person. Then the vector slowly replicates inside the cell and serve as source of antigen. The vector vaccines are polio, adenovirus, salmonella, etc. So the vector recombinant vaccines. The vector recombinant vaccines are viral vectors. So here the viral vectors are used as vaccines. So the viral vectors are introduced into our body as vaccines, and finally the vector slowly replicates inside the cell and serve as source of antigen. So we know that the antigens are recognized by our immune cells. The next one is DNA vaccines. DNA vaccines are third generation vaccines. The DNA vaccines, also known as third generation vaccines, and made up of a small circular bacterial DNA that is known as plasmid. The vaccine DNA is injected into the cells of the body. The inner machinery of the host cell reads the DNA and converts it into pathogenic proteins. The vaccine DNA. The DNA vaccines are introduced into our body, then our body inner machinery reads the DNA and converts it into pathogenic proteins. The DNA is finally translated into a protein. These proteins, so here the proteins are antigenic in nature. So these antigenic proteins recognized as foreign by the host cells and displayed on the surface as antigenic determinants, epitopes. So the antigenic proteins recognized as foreign by the host cells. So these foreign cells are recognized by our immune cells. Coming to advantages of DNA vaccines. The DNA vaccines can be made in short time span. It will take short time span to prepare DNA vaccine and easy to transport and store. DNA vaccines uses only the DNA from infectious organism. The DNA vaccines. So here instead of using complete microbe as vaccine, here the DNA vaccines uses only the DNA from infectious organism, infectious microbes. So then avoid risk of using actual infectious organisms. And it provide both humoral and cell mediated immunity. Humoral and cell mediated immunity concerned with adaptive immunity. So here the DNA vaccines can produce humoral and cell mediated immunity and it gives long term protection. The third type of vaccines are peptide based vaccines. Peptide based vaccines are small peptides of microbes. So here also instead of complete microbes, just we are using small peptides for vaccine preparation. So peptide based vaccines are small peptides of microbes. These are antigenic engineered to induce the desired immune response. These peptides are poorly immunogenic in nature and need to be delivered with immune stimulating agents such as adjuvants. The peptide based vaccines. So here the vaccines are nothing but small peptides of pathogenic organism. Small peptides of pathogenic organisms. So these peptides are poorly immunogenic in nature. So that is why here these vaccines delivered with immune stimulating agents, immune boosters such as adjuvants. About adjuvants we will discuss in later slide in detail. The use of peptide vaccine for the treatment of cancer has expanded and used a MAGE-1 peptide for treatment of melanoma. So the peptide vaccines are used in the treatment of melanoma cancer. Instead of using a virus or bacterium, a single gene. So that gene usually a surface glycoprotein of the virus. So instead of using a virus or bacterium, a single gene can be expressed in a foreign host by cloning mechanism. So here that single gene it encodes a surface glycoprotein of the virus. The surface glycoprotein of the virus it is an antigenic determinant. Vectors are used to make large amounts of antigen. Most used vectors are Escherichia coli, yeast and baculovirus. So here mostly used vectors Escherichia coli, yeast and baculovirus. and this process induces the vector to produce an antigen which is then purified. That purified antigen, when combined with an adjuvant, it results in safe and very effective vaccine. So here the adjuvant is acting as immune booster. Example, Gardasil. Example, Gardasil vaccine, anti-human papilloma virus vaccine. It is anti-human papilloma virus vaccine, and the current hepatitis B vaccines also belongs to peptide based vaccines. So here this diagram shows the peptide based vaccine preparation. So here instead of using whole pathogen, just the protein, here the target gene is isolated. Here the gene encodes a protein, that is surface protein, that is isolated and finally introduced into a vector. Adjuvant. What is adjuvant? The word adjuvant was derived from the Latin word adjuvare. It means to help. The word adjuvant is derived from the Latin word adjuvare, which means to help. It helps vaccines. Adjuvant is added to a vaccine to boost the immune response to produce more antibodies and longer lasting immunity. When the vaccine is added with adjuvant, it gives more antibodies. It means it responds to produce more antibodies and gives longer lasting immunity. And commonly used adjuvants: aluminum potassium sulfate, cytokines, bacterial products like toxoids, lipopolysaccharides, and killed Bordetella pertussis, synthetic polynucleotide, and etc. So here the most commonly used adjuvants are aluminum gels. Adjuvants enhance vaccine immunogenicity. So the adjuvants are known as immune boosters. The commonly used adjuvant is aluminum gels or salts known as alum. It is used in several licensed vaccines including diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, diphtheria, tetanus, diphtheria, tetanus combined with hepatitis B, Haemophilus influenza B, inactivated poliovirus, hepatitis A, streptococcus pneumonia vaccine, meningococcal vaccine, and human papilloma virus vaccine. The adjuvants enhance vaccine immunogenicity, and here the commonly used adjuvant is aluminum gels or salts and known as immune boosters. Adjuvants are known as immune boosters. Girls, I would like to focus about COVID vaccines, which very much related to our topic and times. This slide, this slide showing various types of COVID vaccines. In this slide, I am showing various types of COVID vaccines. DNA vaccines, Inovio, RNA vaccine, Moderna and Pfizer, viral vectors, Oxford, AstraZeneca, Janssen, Gamaleya, Sputnik, viral subunit vaccines and live attenuated, inactivated virus vaccines, virus like particles, split virus vaccines, ribonucleoprotein vaccines. These all are concerned with active immunity. And coming to passive immunity, the antibody administration here. Antibodies, monoclonal antibodies, polyclonal antibodies, and covalescent plasma, that is mRNA induced antibody. Now I am going to explain detail about few vaccines only. Now I am going to explain detail about few COVID-19 vaccines. Firstly, I am going to explain about mRNA vaccines. mRNA vaccines. The RNA vaccines consist of an mRNA encoding the antigen of interest, the coronavirus spike protein or the S protein. So here the RNA vaccine, mRNA vaccines consist an mRNA, it encodes a protein. The protein is coronavirus spike protein. It is antigenic determinant. This RNA is placed in a lipid nanoparticle vehicle. The lipid nanoparticle vehicle prevent the mRNA degradation. What is lipid nanoparticle vehicle, ma? Lipid nanoparticles are the most clinically advanced non-viral gene delivery system. The lipid nanoparticles are the most clinically advanced non-viral gene delivery system. The mRNA is placed in a lipid nanoparticle vehicle. The lipid nanoparticle prevent the mRNA degradation by the host. Once administered, the RNA are taken up by host cells. The intracellular lipases degrade the lipid nanoparticle, exposing the mRNA and exposing the mRNA in our cells. The mRNA is then translated into S protein, that is spike protein, which is then reflected on the cell surface, stimulating an antibody and a T cell response. Now I'm going to explain again about mRNA vaccines for better understanding. mRNA vaccines, the RNA vaccines consist of an mRNA. An mRNA, it encodes a protein, that is coronavirus spike protein. And this mRNA is placed in a lipid nanoparticle vehicle. The lipid nanoparticle vehicle prevent the mRNA degradation. But once administered, the RNA are taken up by host cells. But once the mRNA vaccines are introduced into our body cells, then the intracellular lipases degrade the lipid nanoparticle, then exposing the mRNA. Then the mRNA in our body, that is translated into a protein, that is spike protein, and then which is expressed on the cell surface, and finally stimulating our immune cells. These antigenic determinants S proteins are recognized by our immune cells. Example of mRNA vaccine, Moderna. Moderna has developed the mRNA encapsulated in a lipid nanoparticle vaccine. The RNA used is the viral RNA isolated and spliced to give the exact gene. So the Moderna is one of the example of mRNA vaccine. Next, Pfizer. Pfizer-BioNTech, it is a RNA vaccine, uses an mRNA that is genetically engineered in the lab from the sequential viral genome. It is also enclosed in lipid nanoparticle. Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech vaccines are examples of mRNA vaccines. Next, vector vaccines. Viral vector vaccines are similar to live attenuated vaccines, in that they use a harmless virus known as a vector. It carry a gene encoding the antigen of interest. The gene encoding S protein. So here the viral vector vaccines. The vector vaccines are similar to live attenuated vaccines, as we discussed in earlier slide about live attenuated vaccines, in that they use a harmless virus known as vector. So that vector, it carry a gene encoding the antigen of interest. Here it carry a gene. That gene encodes a protein, that is coronavirus spike protein. When the vector virus infects a cell, they administer this foreign gene into the cell. The cell is then transcribes and translates the gene to produce the antigen, that is S protein, which is then displayed on the cell surface to stimulate an immune response. The infected cell may also slowly reproduce the virus, which allows more cells to become infected and produce more antigen in our body, thus amplifying the effect. So here the coronavirus genes are isolated and inserted into a harmless virus. The harmless viral vector carrying coronavirus gene. So that vectors are introduced into our body as vaccines. Examples of vector vaccines: Oxford AstraZeneca, Gamaleya Sputnik, and Janssen vaccines are all vector vaccines. They use a harmless adenovirus as a vector for gene delivery. In case of Oxford AstraZeneca, Gamaleya Sputnik, and Janssen vaccines, in this vaccine preparation, here the scientist uses a harmless adenovirus as a vector. Recombinant replication deficient chimpanzee adenovirus vector encoding SARS-CoV-2 spike glycoprotein, and that is produced in genetically modified human embryonic kidney 293 cells. So here the recombinant replication deficient chimpanzees adenovirus. So here the adenovirus is used as vector. It is isolated from chimpanzee. So chimpanzee's adenovirus vector encoding SARS-CoV-2 spike glycoprotein, and it is produced in genetically modified human embryonic kidney cell lines. Next, inactivated vaccines. These are evolving from live attenuated vaccines that are able to replicate in the body. Inactivated vaccines contain a whole virus that is killed or inactivated by chemical, heat, or radiation at laboratory conditions. This eliminates the possibility of the pathogen replicating and possibly causing infection. Yet, the vaccine still has all the components of the original pathogen to induce a memory response. Various inactivated vaccines are available to vaccinate people against infections such as cholera and hepatitis A. Following in these footsteps in the corona vaccines produced by Sinovac Research and Development, Sinopharm, and Bharat Biotech. So the corona vaccine produced by Sinovac, Sinopharm, and Bharat Biotech. So here the Sinovac, the Chinese Sinovac Research and Development, and Sinopharm, Bharat Biotech. These companies produced the corona vaccines as inactivated vaccines Corona vaccine contains the inactivated SARS-CoV-2 virus that is combined with alum aluminium salt adjuvant. Aluminium salt is an adjuvant. It is an immune booster. The aluminium salt acts as an adjuvant to stimulate immune responses against the vaccines. So girls, this is about vaccines, introduction to vaccines and types of vaccines. I am going to summarize in. So we discussed about definition, discussed about what is vaccine and what is immunization. Immunization is the process of giving vaccine to a person to protect against to a disease. At present, we are getting corona vaccine and active immunization, passive immunization. And coming to etymology and history of vaccine, two great scientists, Edward Jenner is the father of first generation vaccine, and next the second generation of vaccines was introduced by Louis Pasteur in 1880. And types of vaccines, there are conventional vaccines. The conventional vaccines are again two types, attenuated or live vaccines, killed or inactivated vaccines. New generation vaccines, new generation vaccines are three types, recombinant vaccines, DNA vaccines, peptide based vaccines. And we discussed about conventional vaccine in detail. The conventional vaccines are two types, attenuated vaccines and inactivated vaccines, and there are some problems with conventional vaccines. And we discussed about new generation vaccines. The new generation vaccines are also known as second generation of vaccines, and there are three types of new generation vaccines. The first one is recombinant vaccines, and the second one is DNA vaccine, and the third one is peptide based vaccines. Coming to recombinant vaccines, the recombinant vaccines are again two types, subunit vaccines and attenuated recombinant vaccines, and the vector recombinant vaccines. The second type is DNA vaccines, and I explained about advantages of DNA vaccines. And the third type is peptide based vaccines. The peptide based vaccines are small peptides of microbes. And I explained about adjuvant. Adjuvants are immune boosters. And what are the commonly used adjuvants in vaccine preparation? And I explained corona vaccines. What are the corona vaccines? And I explained about few corona vaccines in detail. That is mRNA vaccines. mRNA vaccines, example Moderna, Pfizer and BioNTech. And vector vaccines are Oxford AstraZeneca, Gamaleya Sputnik and Janssen. And inactivated vaccines, coming to conclusion of the topic, vaccines are one of the most effective health interventions ever developed. Attenuated, inactivated, recombinant vector DNA vaccines are currently used. They induce both humoral and cellular immunity, and some boosters known as adjuvants used in association with vaccines for increasing immune response. Adjuvants play a great role in vaccine preparation. Each one of us must practice immunization for the benefit of the community and country. Thank you. Thank you for giving this opportunity.